There is confusion all over the place right now in the Republican Party on what to do with the next stimulus package, and there is little to no agreement. We're going to break it down for you right after this. Welcome back, everybody. This is your afternoon stimulus update for Wednesday, July 22nd. A lot to talk about, primarily surrounding the fact that there is mass confusion in the Republican Party right now. So let's go ahead and break it down. We have one group, around 5 individuals in the Senate, who don't even want to do another $1 trillion bill. They're balking at that. That's the likes of Mike Enzi, Rand Paul, Ted Cruz, and some others in their group, about 5, maybe a little bit more. Then we have a much larger group of Republicans who want to stick around the $1 to $1.5 trillion number. That's where McConnell falls, and probably around 20 to 30 others. That might be your majority group. Then you have another group of Republicans in the Senate who are okay pushing a bill closer to $2 to $2.5 trillion. So right off the bat, already, where they're supposed to have a bill out, a hard copy bill for us to be able to read, you have 3 major groups right now. But that's not all, because they can't even agree what to put in the bill. Some of them are okay putting in funding for state and local governments. Others are okay with putting in a payroll tax cut. Some won't vote for it if a payroll tax cut is included in it. Many of them want more direct payments to the American people. Some of them want to cut and limit those direct payments. Many individuals want to continue the unemployment at the same $600 boost. Some of them want to continue it, but at a much lower rate. Some of them don't want to continue it at all. Some want to provide more aid to small businesses. Some think enough aid has been already provided. Some want to fund the CDC. Some want to stop funding the CDC. Some want to help out schools, and some don't want to help out schools unless there's some limitations. No wonder there is no hard copy bill right now. No wonder Mitch McConnell went on the Senate floor and just said a bunch of things without anything for us to read, because there's zero agreement, and it is Wednesday already. They're halfway through their first week together, and we're supposed to technically have a bill by next week that's passed and voted on. The Republican Party has got some serious problems right now, and this is from Senate Republican John Thune, who is the number 2 ranking Republican. He said this: we've got some people who are going to balk at how much it is, probably going to balk at some of the specific provisions within it. And then we won't have everybody, but you want to try to get as many as you can. And so with that statement, he is just confirming everything that I am reporting to you guys. This is from Senator Ron Johnson, who is from Wisconsin. He said it's already spiraled out of control. He said this following the conference's meeting with Mnuchin, Meadows, and the National Economic Council Director, Larry Kudlow. So they had a little bit of a meeting and they started throwing out some ideas. He says it's spiraled out of control already. We don't know what to do. This is from Mike Enzi, one of those guys who are part of the group who don't even want to spend $1 trillion. We cannot use the crisis to justify opening the spending floodgates and borrowing from future generations to fund non-emergency priorities. He said that on the Senate floor. He doesn't even want a $1 trillion bill. So you can't use the crisis to justify the spending. Then when can you ever justify this amount of spending? If you can't justify it now, during a pandemic, when the government is literally shutting down businesses, shut down the United States of America, states all over the place are shutting down right now. If you can't justify spending now for the American people, then when can you? I'm not really sure what that answer would be at that point, but this is from Mike Enzi. He also said, I don't know how we're going to pay for what we already have. Enzi said after his speech, one of the new mechanisms is this: I will give you everything you want if you give me everything I want, and that's considered a compromise. Here's a tweet from Senator Rand Paul. He said, the majority of Republicans are now no different than socialist Democrats when it comes to debt. They simply don't care about debt and are preparing to add at least another $1 trillion in debt this month, combined with the trillions from earlier this summer. Of course, he's a part of that group, like I said, that doesn't even want to spend another $1 trillion. I would say to him, then when do you spend this type of money? At what point in your history do you spend this money? Now, I haven't been on planet Earth for that long, about 35 years right now. I don't think that we've ever experienced, at least in my lifetime, anything like what's going on right now in the year 2020. Yes, we've had problems. I remember going through 9/11. I remember 2008 when we went through that financial crisis. Nothing is comparable. We are shutting down sectors of society. We are closing down schools and universities. State governments are all over the place, are restricting the movements of individuals. People are being forced by private businesses to wear masks if they want to shop in their locations. Jobs are changing everywhere. People are losing jobs. Many jobs are never going to come back. Much of this has been forced by the government itself. We have never, at least in my time on planet Earth, ever seen anything like this. So my question to them would be, when do you then spend this kind of money? If not now, when? I think now. I understand the reality too, like everyone else. We don't just want to pile up debt and debt and debt and debt and never do anything about it. I get that. That's something we got to work through and solve. It's going to be a problem we're going to have to handle. But right now, you're going to have individuals who aren't going to pay their rent. They're not going to pay their mortgage. They're going to struggle to feed their families. They're not going to know what to do when they don't have a job. You're going to cut unemployment. You're going to stop the unemployment boost. This stuff is crazy. Now is the time to be spending this type of money. This is from Senator Mike Braun. He said that Mitch McConnell is pushing the $1 trillion cap on the new bill. That is the figure we are looking at. The leader's thrown that out there. I think anything beyond that, and you're going to get a lot of different Republicans finding a way to say that they can't buy into it. So I started off this whole thing with there's problems in the Republican Party. There is mass confusion and disagreement. I think I'm proving my point with all of these different quotes from all of these different individuals who are all over the place. And again, it's no wonder there is no physical bill right now from the Senate Republicans. They have no bill. And when they do finally put out a bill, we've only gotten past step 1 of 10, because then there's going to be craziness going on. And then you're going to have to deal with the Democrats on top of that. Oh boy. Anyway, unemployment boost. Donald Trump came out the other day and he said that they're thinking about doing about 70% of the unemployment boost. There's so much confusion everywhere on what in the world he meant by that. Regardless, they're looking about to provide you 70% of whatever working wages you had before, which would limit the unemployment boost on average to around $100 to $300 per individual. Also ridiculous. The $600 boost is pretty good. I do think it's probably a little high at this point. Lower it down to around $400. I get it. You don't want to pay people more on unemployment than they're going to get at their job. I understand that. But it's helping to support the economy right now in many ways. People are able to continue to provide and spend money because of that unemployment boost. Yes, lowered a little bit, but stop being stingy and trying to figure out how we could give people as little support as possible when we shut down their jobs. The government shut down your job, literally through law, shut down your place of business and then said, you know what? We're just going to provide you 70%. It's just crazy what is going on right now. Anyway, in good news, at least on the vaccine side, there is a number of companies who are working on a vaccine for the COVID-19 virus, and pretty much all of them are having amazing progress and results from the studies that they are doing. So we are going to get one, if not 2, 3, or 4 of these companies are going to develop a vaccine that is going to work. Now, if you're not a vaccine person and you think there's something behind it, then that is what it is. After some testing and individuals taking it and seeing the results of it, then I'll probably be okay with it. But I have my own little, skepticism as well with some of the vaccine stuff. But at the end of the day, if it works, if it's been tested and verified, and I've seen the results in other people, I'm going to be okay with getting a vaccine for COVID-19 as well. In addition, the United States reached a deal with the biotech company Pfizer, $1.95 billion. The United States government is going to give to Pfizer to provide 100 million doses of the vaccine for free to the American people when that comes out. The United States obviously has over 350 million people, but the government is going to procure even more vaccines than that, maybe more with Pfizer or maybe more with another company. They're probably going to get over 500 million doses of the vaccine. Lastly, there are school districts all over the place now that are struggling to figure out what to do. In the fall, you have the problem of government leaders. By the way, I'm a teacher, if you guys don't know that already. You have the issue of government leaders pushing a certain agenda. Some other government leaders pushing a different agenda. Then you have public opinion. The public is like, well, much of the public thinks, hey, don't put your kids in school. Don't go back to school. This is a terrible idea. Then you have a lot of the public who says, no, we need to get our kids back in school. How am I supposed to go to work if we don't? And then you have administrators and teachers who just want to figure out how to do their job, and nobody knows what to do. There are districts and states meeting all over the place to try and figure this out. And right now, there is many different schools that are reversing their decision to meet in the fall together in person. Now they're switching to meet online remotely. So we're seeing that all over the place. And I know for a fact that districts are meeting. They're having town hall meetings and discussions with teachers, staff, and parents to figure out what the communities want to do. I think at the end of the day, everyone genuinely just wants to solve this problem together, but this is a big deal as well. And we're seeing the reversal. And by the way, in the new bill, they're thinking about providing over $100 billion for the schools in the next relief bill. At least this is from the Senate Republicans. But in order to get that money, it seems like you're going to have to meet in person, which is a weird incentive during a pandemic. Hopefully, you guys found all of this information valuable and that you enjoyed the information. If you haven't subscribed already, consider subscribing to the channel. I would love to have you come along with me. I will catch you guys next time.